Well, hey, what's up, Epic Church? Pastor Ray here. I hope you're doing well today. I want to share with you a brief video about how to have the most out of your quiet time using the SOAP Bible reading method. Now, SOAP is an acronym. It stands for Scripture, Observation, Application, and Prayer. And in a moment, I'm going to walk you through that using a journal entry of mine from last week. But first, let me encourage you quickly with two things. And the first is just to make sure that this is a time where you're not going to be interrupted, where there aren't any distractions, that the TV's turned off, that this is a protected time for you and God, because God most often speaks through a still small voice. And so you want to be able to make sure that you can hear him today. The second thing would just to be make sure that you don't rush through this time. Sometimes it can be tempting just kind of check this time off and read the scripture and walk away. But I had a Bible professor tell me once, you want to approach this time with God as though you're lingering over a hot cup of coffee with a good friend, just having an enjoyable conversation. That always helped me in my mind to just slow down and really listen for the Lord in this time. So with that being said, to get to the method, this SOAP method, the S stands for scripture, like I said. And the first thing you just make sure you've got a Bible reading plan lined up and ready to go. I would encourage you, if you have not already downloaded this app, to get the YouVersion Bible app on your phone, on your tablet, because there are so many plans available to you and they're great, and they'll be just a way to have this queued up for you so you're not thinking, well, where should I read from this morning? Then once you have that, you just read that scripture passage for the day. And I would encourage you then in your journal to write down a verse or two that just really stood out to you. So for example, last week I was in Psalm 118, and verses 28 and 29 really stood out to me, so I wrote them down, and they read like this: You are my God, and I will give you thanks. You are my God, and I will praise you. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his loyal love endures. And then you move on to the O, observation. You're just going to write down a couple of thoughts. Why did this verse stand out to you? And for me, I just felt like God was saying, hey, that phrase, you are my God, like that's for you today, Ray. I want you to know and understand that I am your God, that there's no one like me. No one else can do the things that need to be done in your life. And do you trust me? And I just felt like God saying that to me. So I just kind of wrote that down. Like, that's why. Like, this is for me today. You are my God, that phrase. And then I just was realizing that, man, I really need to declare this in my life today so that I have encouragement and can live from a point of victory today. And so I wrote that down. And then it actually took me into the A part of this, the application. And the first thing I thought of was really simple, but I just went ahead and did it. And I was like, well, if I need to declare this today, I'm actually going to say this out loud. So as I sat there at my kitchen table, I just started saying, you are my God. You are my God. And I began to just feel this strength build within me so that I was going to be able to go through the things that I had for that day. And then I was like, okay, well, that was great. I feel ready to go today. How can I make sure to kind of keep this going today? And so I just jotted down that, you know what, anytime I was going through something today, if I was frustrated or tired or maybe just like annoyed, I was going to stop and say, you are my God. And then when I was facing any decisions that day, didn't matter how big or how small, I was going to remind myself that God is my God, because I want to honor him in those decisions. I don't want to do anything that would show someone that he's not my God. And then the last thing I thought too was, you know what, and if I get tempted today, then I'm going to remind myself that God is my God so that I don't dishonor him in that way. So I wrote that down, said I'm going to work on doing that today. And then that took me to P, prayer. And I just spent a few moments asking God to help me with that, also praying for any needs that were in my life, as well as any needs that I was aware of in the lives of others that God brought to my attention that day. So there you have it, scripture, observation, application, prayer, the SOAP Bible reading method. It's really made a difference in my life to approach my quiet time in this way, and I'm convinced that it will in yours as well. I hope that you find this to be helpful. And if you'd like some more instructions, or maybe you're wondering which reading plan should I use, if you go to our website, epicchurchbuffalo.com, or if you have the Epic Church app, just go to the Next Steps tab on either of those places, and you'll find a SOAP instruction document there to help you through that. We've got some suggested reading plans there as well. But I also would say, you know, as you begin to work this into your life over the next few days, feel free to send me an email. Let me know how that's making a difference for you. Or if you have any further questions, you can reach out by email as well at ray@epicchurchbuffalo.com. Well, again, thanks for joining me. and I hope you have a great rest of your day.